Hey guys, welcome back to Reality Check Please. I'm your host Cassie and happy Friday. We are back to recap episode 1 of Perfect Match season 3. We released a video earlier today of the little PSA statements that Janae made on her Instagram stories last night. So if you haven't already, go watch those after this episode. They did not disappoint. Once again, before we jump in, I want to say thank you guys for the continued love and support. You guys have truly made this so much fun. I could not imagine doing anything else as far as like recapping reality TV. And yeah, I'm so excited for this journey and to come along with you guys to see how far our channel can grow. And I could not do that without you guys. So once again, big huge thanks and props to you guys. I could not do this without you. So if you haven't already, make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more of this content, help me by giving us a subscribe to our channel and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below after every video, after we give our hot takes and after we give our reality checks. So with that, we are going to jump into episode 1 of season 3 of Perfect Match. I am loving the cast so far. I think that they all kind of got on along with each other. I know that we went through the entire cast yesterday, and obviously not everyone's going to make it to episode 1. I wanted to talk about all the OGs and what our first thoughts were of them. So we have Daniel, Lucy, Ollie, AD, Louis, Sandy, Cody, Madison, Clayton, and Juliet. I feel like Clayton and Juliet were kind of matched by default. We saw Juliet want to match with Clayton. She had her eye on him the entire night. It was so cringe when she tried to interrupt Madison. It was very much giving, I get it. You're there to find your connection and all that stuff, but it felt very Bachelor Nation when they pull you away from a chat. But I think that the way that you could kind of tell that Madison was not feeling that conversation, at least in my point of view, she was not feeling it. And she was it was very awkward for her when Juliet tried to jump in and have a chat with Clayton. And Clayton said, no, like, give me a minute. That was very awkward for me. I felt secondhand embarrassment. Did anybody else feel the same? One thing I did notice from Juliet in the first episode is that she's very emotional. I have not watched Siesta Key yet, but she kind of made a comment early on saying that I'm not the same that I was before. I'm looking for a man. I'm looking for a real relationship. And she was very emotional when she saw that Clayton and Lucy were having a chat. And I honestly thought that they were going to match when they were like in the little swing. I think they were talking. They even kissed, didn't they? I'm almost positive that they kissed. So the fact that they didn't couple up together was a shock to me. Next, we have Louis. He pulled Sandy first. They had that awkward conversation about age. Sandy says she's 28. Louis shares that he's 23. She says, you're still a baby. He was a little put off by that. And yeah, then he moved on to having a conversation with Madison. And I feel like it just got worse with the age because when Louis shared his age with her, she said, you're still in kindergarten. And he was so pressed about that. He says, yo, like, I'm about to end this conversation right now. Like, I don't like these girls thinking I'm a child, thinking I'm a baby. I'm not a baby from the waist down. Louis is it's giving much Harry Jowsey for me. He is a like horn dog. He said at the beginning of the episode that he was trying to be a gentleman with his conversation with Madison. I don't think that's going to get very far with him, truth be told. And if he doesn't want to be spoken to or thought of as a baby or a child, I can't imagine how long this fake relationship with him and Redacted in the real world right now is going to last, truth be told. But that's just me. I love how Sandy is coming off in this first episode. I'm truly enjoying her. I didn't enjoy her during the ultimatum, maybe because of the entire situation. It was just so toxic. Obviously, the ultimatum is very high tensions because everyone there was given an ultimatum, and it is just like an emotional roller coaster, I think, that show. And so we didn't get to see that good of a side from Sandy. I think a huge part of her edit or the way she came across was JR. So I'm excited to see how their dynamic will work in this show. When Louis was talking to Madison and he asked her, where are you from? She said, Minnesota. He says, where's that? She says, okay, do you know Canada? And he was like, oh, you're from Canada? Mind you, Louis has already said that he's been to the US before. I don't expect him to know every single state, and Minnesota is not one of the most like known ones. I feel like for influencers, you're either in like Miami, LA, or New York. So I don't blame him for not knowing where Minnesota is. However, she says, no, like Canada's up there and then there's Minnesota. And then he was like, Alaska? And she's like, what? And then he said, you can walk to Alaska, right? And I was like, this man. So then afterwards, they had the whole age conversation and she says, you're still in kindergarten. And I was like, this man, yeah, just stay on reality TV because geography is not your thing, my guy. When AD and Ollie finally had their conversation when they matched, I truly loved that whole little conversation, that whole little bit where he was trying to let her know, like, I already know who I'm going to like match with. And he was trying to get it out of her. of who she wanted to match with. And she was playing a little hard to get, but I loved it. I appreciated it. And then he said, who are you going to like pick? Do you have an idea who you're going to like pick? Something along those lines. And she says, yeah, but I have to get to know everyone. And then he looked at her and he says, oh, so you're going to pretend it like with everyone else. Like you're just going to pretend for the rest of the night. But I love their dynamic, and knowing that they're together in the real world now, knowing that they're engaged, knowing that they're expecting their first baby, I am so obsessed with them. I was obsessed with Ollie and Freddie in Love Island UK. So for them to be together now, Ollie and AD, I live for it. I'm so happy for them. Ollie is so good looking. AD is a catch. I love her. So this season should truly not disappoint. I'm loving the Love Island factor of it, the Love Island franchise. People in the trailer for Perfect Match, Nick Lachey referred to them as Netflix newbies, and I think it's a great mix. Truthfully, I love that they're involving MTV, Love Island, Temptation Island. It should be a fun season, but let me know what you guys think. That's pretty much what I got from the season. I think that Louis is going to definitely be the Harry Jowsey of this season. You can kind of tell. Ollie is more of a serious man, but you have to remember he's 23. But we have people in their early 20s, people in their later 20s. And so also we have to remember that the shows that these people are on sometimes can be very opposite. I think that them opening the doors to other franchises and other networks, bravo, Netflix. I love it. I'm here for it because it was time that they kind of spice things up. So drop all your comments down below. What were some takes that I missed, but that you guys loved or that I didn't mention? One thing before we end, I did want to cover at the very end. I truly thought that Madison was going to pick Sandy and JR together, but it did not surprise me when she chose to go on the date. But at the very end, when Louis said she's a snake or she's Snakey, I was like, damn. I wonder if they're getting to see a little bit of who she, I don't know. I didn't really like her last season. I did like her at the beginning, like I said, on Love is Blind, season 8. But at the end, I did not really care for her. She kind of switched up during the reunion. And I don't know, something about her is just giving very snaky, truth be told. But what do we think? We saw her go on a date with Freddie. I'm going to watch the next episode later today. And so we'll probably be back with another recap of episode 2. And yeah, give me your thoughts. What do we think of Perfect Match episode 1? What couple do you think is going to last the longest? Mine is going to be AD and Ollie, given what we know already in the real world now, today, present time. But I am so excited for this season. It's going to be a good one. So pop off in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you later. Happy Friday, guys. Bye.